Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakwadash, and double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and salutations to the elect. This is the brother Lawyer from Great Millstone, Miami. And what I want to go into in this lesson is, another edition of headlines and precepts. Okay, through the Spirit of Prophet Yahweh Shai, Shai. You know, it's a lot happening on the earth, man. We're living in the times where all of these prophecies are getting ready to be fulfilled. Okay. And with that comes, just different breaking news. Okay. A lot of surprises. Okay. A lot of shocking events, especially to people that are not in the know. All right. Who have not been watching, who do not expect the Lord to come back. These things are going to catch them off guard. But as the scriptures say, we are not in darkness that they should come upon us unaware. Okay, we are not as darkness that they should come upon us as a thief. Okay, all right, because the Lord hath not appointed us to wrath, but to obtain salvation through our Lord and Savior Yahweh Shai. All right, so we have the insight through the prophecies, man. Through the prophecies of Yahweh Shai, what was foretold and written down by the ancient prophets, that's what's getting ready to come to pass. Okay, all right, so when we see different events take place in the world, we don't get surprised. Matter of fact, we rejoice and we line it up with scripture, and that gives us more boldness and more, courage to go out there and preach the word without fear. All right, so hey, with that in this lesson, man, it's just gonna be, as direct as I could keep it through the spirit. Just bring out some headlines. Read maybe some pieces of the article, and then go into some precepts to back it up. To link it up, tie it all together and close out. And Lord willing, this video is edifying. Okay. Now, this is from the NewYorkPost.com. All right. This has been floating around, amongst the brotherhood. It says the next pandemic, even deadlier than the CVID, is coming. Okay. Warns HWO. All right. Which is the World Health Organization. Okay. All right. And this is came out 3 days ago. All right. May 23rd, 2023. All right, so this is recent news. All right, it says the head of the World Health Organization warned that the world must be prepared for the next pandemic, which could be even deadlier than the C-19 pandemic. Okay, which it's it's always interesting how they do this. They'll say, oh, something even deadlier is coming. How do they know? How do they know? All right, but that's going to show you Esau, with his occult witchcraft. All right, is trying to play the Most High, man. Scriptures talk about, their monthly prognosticators, their astrologers, how they try to foretell the things that shall be. Okay, all right, but really, it's really all the will of the Lord, man. All right, because Esau trying to play like he's in control when it's really the will of Yahweh Shai that's taking place. Okay, all right, and he be behind, Esau. He's the one that really be behind a lot of these, diseases that go out there and stuff like that, all right, and then try to come in, as the savior, all right, when really he's just, stripping people more and more of what, whatever privileges that he may have given them. Okay, all right. It says in a meeting of the World Health Assembly in Geneva, Switzerland, on Monday, Director General Dr. Tedros Adhanom, whatever his last name, sounded an alarm, sounded an alarm that the C-19 pandemic is far from over. Okay, it says the threat of another variant emerging that causes new surges of disease and death remains. Okay, but they was just saying that everything's all good though. Yeah, it goes to show you, man. Scriptures don't lie. It says when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. Okay, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. Right? It says the threat of another pathogen emerging with even deadlier potential remains. However, the WHO recently declared that the C-19 pandemic is no longer a health emergency. When the next pandemic comes knocking, and it will, we must be ready to answer decisively, collectively, and equitably, he adds. All right, so, hey, again, let's follow it up with a precept. Okay, all right, this is Luke 21. All right, it says, I'm going to go to verse 7. It says, and they asked him, saying, Master, when shall these things be, and what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? All right, so the disciples asked the Lord, all right, what's going to be the signs associated or surrounding your return? Okay, all right, and this is what the scriptures say, man. All right. It says in verse 10, it says, "Then said he unto them, Nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven." All right. So the Lord already told his disciples, it was already foretold in the Holy Scriptures that in the last days it's going to be pestilences, these different diseases out here, man. Okay. That's going to catch people. All right. That's going to, people going to die from it. All right. Give me 1 second here. All right. That's a sign. Okay. That the Lord is getting ready to return, man. And as the prophets of the Lord set up in the last days, he said what? Um, hey, well, matter of fact, Jeremiah 28. All right, Jeremiah 28 and 8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence." Okay, and what is a pestilence? A pestilence is a disease. All right, a pestilence is a disease, man. All right, whether you want to talk about a pathogen, a bacteria, okay, a pandemic. All right, that's what a pestilence is, man. And these are plagues from the Lord, man, which the Lord prophet. Hey, that's again in the scriptures. All right, you read Second Ezra the 15th chapter, talks about how the Lord will bring plagues upon the world, man. Okay, all right, the word pestilence, it says a fatal epidemic disease, especially bubonic plague. It says plague, all right, disease, contagious disease, contagion, infection, sickness, epidemic, pandemic. Okay, all right, so there you go, man. It's a sign, again, prophesied by the scriptures without fail. All right, in these last days, man. Okay, now this is from the Washington Post. Just moving forward, it says super typhoon Mawar, which, if I'm correct, the word Mawar Brothers was going into, I believe it means bitter. Okay. Um, it says the super typhoon Mawar strengthens into the most powerful storm on Earth in more than 2 years. Okay. All right. So this typhoon, this hurricane, they call it typhoons in the east. Okay. All right, has strengthened, all right, to the most powerful storm system on Earth, okay, seen in the past 2 years. Okay, the most powerful storm system on Earth in more than 2 years. Super Typhoon Mawar is raging through the Pacific, stirring up 70-foot waves, 70-foot waves amid 200-mile-per-hour gust as the atmospheric buzzsaw cruises over warm ocean waters. So which means it's only getting stronger, man. Okay, the meteorological monstrosity could maintain Category 5 equivalent strength for days before weakening upon eventual approach to Taiwan, which I believe it's done past near Guam, and those different islands out there, in the Pacific. Okay, near Southeast Asia. Okay, and it's done damage. All right, again, another sign. Okay, this is just more more plagues like the Bible talks about. All right, this is it says the storm passed just north of Guam as a Category 4 on Wednesday. So this is a powerful storm, man. Okay, lashing the island with winds in the Category 2 range and flooding rains. Okay, so they had floods. All right, I read one headline that was talking about how what once looked like a jungle pretty much looked like a wasteland now. Okay, so hey, this is doing damage, man. All right, it says or has done damage because this is from, I want to say it might be from a couple days ago. All right, well, no, the article is from today. Okay, but it done passed. It passed in that area Wednesday. Okay, it says now it resurged to Category 5 force and is amongst the top 10 strongest storms to occur globally since 2000, man. All right. So in the past 23 years, this storm, okay, that is rampage, that's only done rampage through by Guam, past north of Guam, gaining strength, is one of the top 10 in the past 23 years, strongest storms to occur. Okay, and it's the strongest storm seen in 2 years. It's a Category 5. Okay. All right, Mawar matches the strongest storms ever observed worldwide during the month of May and beat out anything seen globally in 2022. Okay, so this is more powerful than what Hurricane Ian it was. While the storm is a product of natural randomness, no, it's not. It's a product of Yahweh Shemel Shai. It fits into a pattern of more intense storms and storms more prone to rapid intensification in an era earmarked by warming oceans and human-induced climate change. With no, it's Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, all right, and the reason why the climate is changing is because the Lord, all right, the reason why the earth is warming up is because the Lord is plaguing the earth with fervent heat, man. All right, that's in Revelation, the 16th chapter. Okay, right, Revelation 16, and all right, Revelation 16, it says, and verse 8, it says, and the fourth angel poured out his vial upon the sun, and power was given unto him to scorch men with fire. And men were scorched with great heat and blasphemed the name of Yahweh, which hath power over these plagues, and they repented not to give him glory. That's why the earth is heating up right now, man, because the Lord has an angel pouring out his vial, okay, which is indicative of his wrath upon the sun, and now the sun is getting hotter. The Lord has angels that have control over the natural elements of the world, okay, or over the heat of the sun, over rain, over wind. That's why I should talk about there be spirits that are created for vengeance, man. Okay, and the hotter the sun is, the warmer the oceans are. That produces more powerful storms, man. Okay, hurricanes and typhoons and tornadoes and things of that nature, heat waves, wildfires. Okay, which 2022 was marked with all of those things. Okay, all right. So this is a work of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, new signs and other strange wonders, man. Okay, all right. The Lord is doing this, man. All right, that's why these storms are rapidly intensifying, becoming more and more powerful, becoming stronger, more and more deadly because of the power of the Lord. The wrath of the Lord is being poured out upon the earth. Okay, all right, this is Isaiah chapter 20, uh, 29, verse 6. It says, thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquake and great noise, with storm and tempest and the flame of devouring fire. Okay. All right. Now, in the book of Isaiah, in the 30th chapter, it says, now write it in a table and note it in a book, that it may be for a time to come forever and ever. Okay. All right. So the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. Things that are written back then have relevance now. So all this talk about, oh, well, that was for that time period, or, or that was in the Bible days. No, these things have relevance now, man. Okay. That which is then is now. That which has already been is now, man. Okay. All right. So these things happened back then. Of course, have always been hurricanes and tornadoes and earthquakes and thunder. Okay, and wildfires, but they're intensifying now because the Lord is bringing these plagues, man. The Lord is doing these things, man. Okay. All right. He's the one that's bringing these things as a sign of his return. He's visiting the earth. This is part of the Lord plaguing the earth, man. Okay. All right. Now this is from thefortune.com. Moving forward in the lesson, it says turbulence ahead. Nearly 4 in 10 Americans lack enough money to cover a $400 emergency expense. Fed survey shows. Okay, the 2022 survey. This was posted in May 23rd, 3 days ago. It says the 2022 survey found that self-reported financial well-being was among the lowest levels observed since 2016. The central bank's researchers wrote. Okay, all right, it's judgment, man. A distress of nations, man. People are hurting out here, man. Okay, in their pockets, man. All right. All right, it says there is no secret that stubborn inflation and aggressive Federal Reserve interest rate hikes have weighed on Americans' finances for over a year now. But new data from the central bank shows how many consumers are feeling I'm sorry, shows just how many consumers are feeling the pain. According to the Fed's 2022 Economic Well-Being of U.S. Householders Survey, okay, U.S. Household Survey released Monday, some 37% of Americans lack enough money to cover a $400 emergency expense, up from 32% in 2021. Okay, all right. So they took this report in the survey in 2022 and released the findings Monday. Okay, all right. Which from what they found, it's gotten worse for people, man. All right, people have less and less money to spend. Okay, they cannot handle their expenses. They can't handle, their bills, even just necessities, gas, light, rent. A lot of people are being evicted. Okay, all right, gas, maintenance around the house. All right, emergency, which a lot of emergencies getting ready to happen. A lot of emergencies. Okay, all right, we just opened up. We're talking about, the next pandemic. Okay, that sounds like an emergency to me. Okay, storms and stuff. That I'm sure that's gonna cause some damage that needs money to fix. People ain't gonna have it like that, man. Okay, a lot of people about to be hurt. Not about to be. A lot of people are hurting right now, man. That means nearly 1 in 4 consumers. Which again, this is 4 in 10. All right, that's nearly half of the country, man. Okay, oh haughty ass Americans, man. The city of confusion is broken down, man. All right, haughty, man. So let's talk about the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right, the pride of these people is being brought low, man. All right, even people who make decent income are hurting right now. Okay, all right. It says uh, that means that nearly 1 in 4 consumers would have to use credit, which they ain't gonna be able to pay that off. Turn to family, sell assets, or get a loan. They ain't gonna be able to pay that off in order to cover any major unexpected costs. And when asked about non-emergency expenses, uh, 18% of Americans said the largest expense they could cover using only their savings is under $100. Dang. All right. Yeah. So hey, hey, the curses have been reversed. Okay. All right. Hey, this is Luke chapter 21 again. All right. Luke 21 and verse 25. It says, "And there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and in the stars, and upon the earth the stress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts filling them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken." And this precept could be used for the headline about the weather patterns. Okay, all right. I brought out the thing about the sun in Revelation 16th chapter. Okay, but also the point here. Okay, all right. It says the stress of nations, man. All right, the stress of nations. All right, let's look up the word distress. All right, it says sunoke. All right, it says a holding together, a narrowing, a contracting part of a way. So people are in tight spots, basically, straits, distress, anguish. Okay, and then it says with perplexity, which I also like to go into. The word perplexity is aporia. Okay, aporia, and it means the state of one who is perplexed. And I believe when you go to the root, all right, it says the root is aporeo, okay, and it says to be without resources, okay, to be without resources, man, to be in straits, to be left wanting, okay, they lacking, okay, they ain't got no resources, they don't got none, no, they can't make their way out of the situation, to be embarrassed, to be in doubt, to not know which way to turn, to be at a loss with oneself, to be in doubt, to not know how to decide or what to do, to be perplexed, okay, or to be at a loss. All right, people are hurting; they don't know what to do. Okay, and again, this is the curses coming upon our enemies, man. Which one of the curses was what? Deuteronomy 28 and 17. It says, "Curse shall be thy basket and thy store." Okay, curse shall be thy basket and thy store, man. All right, people ain't got nothing in their savings account like that, man. Okay, they ain't got nothing in their savings account, man. So people are out here hurting, broke. Okay, don't got no family to turn to. They ain't got nowhere to turn to. Even if they turn to family, they family hurting too. All right. So hey, that goes to that prophecy, the stress of nations. All right. Now this is where things get even more juicy. Okay, because you already know, with so many people hurting financially, it's gonna lead to more robbery. More crime is gonna ensue. People gonna be breaking into each other's homes. Okay, but just to add a little bit more fuel to the fire, look what's done come out, man. This is from I believe the Denver. 7 News, okay, and this was featured by Newsbreak.com. All right, the headline reads: U.S. Department of Homeland Security warns of increased risk of attacks. Okay, this was from a day ago. It says U.S. Department of Homeland Security sounded the alarm Wednesday, warning Americans it expects an increased risk of violence leading up to the 2024 election cycle. That is crazy, man. Okay, that's crazy, bro. Like they just straight out saying, "Hey, just expect some violence to go down." All right, and I remember this maybe about a month ago. All right, talks about how the mass shootings, were record breaking, maybe about a month or so ago. Okay, and even last year, record breaking mass shootings, man, just people just getting bodied. Okay, all right. So it says Secretary of DHS Alejandro Mayorkas issued a national terrorism advisory system bulletin which said infrastructure, faith institutions, and government facilities are likely targets for attacks. All right, the agency said hate in communities looks can look like graffiti, vandalism, targeted attacks, and arson. All right, and security leaders believe there's a heightened threat of if information spreads that the U.S. election system is flawed, which that's been coming out. A lot of more people believe that. Okay, all right, it says the U.S. Attorney's Office in Colorado held a training Wednesday night to help faith based institutions prepare for threats of violence. We all have an obligation to try and help people protect themselves and be aware of some threats that are out there. Cole Finnegan, the chief federal enforcement officer for the U.S. Attorney's Office in Colorado, said, if you see something, say something. If you're aware of an issue, speak out. And please know that those of us in law enforcement are really are here to help. Okay. All right. But again, the point is that they are saying, hey, look, more violence is ahead. Why? Because this nation is divided, man. Okay, I want to say maybe a few years ago, if not last year, plenty of articles, surveys came out about how more people are divided. More people expect there to be civil war. Okay, here in America. Okay, all right. Which again, the Bible prophesies of these things. Okay, all right. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 2. It says, "And I will set the Egyptian against the Egyptians. I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians." All right, which modern day Egypt is America. Okay, all right, and there's many similarities. All right, the biggest obelisk in the world, which goes back to Egyptian mysticism and idolatry, is found in D.C. Okay, all right. What else do you have that's similar to Egypt? Okay, the slavery of the Israelites. This place was built up off of slavery. You got the pyramid on the back of the dollar bill. Okay, the nation is divided in half by a river. Okay, all right, red, white, and blue. All right, is the color of the flag. Well, red, white, and blue was with the cover. I'm sorry, the colors of the crowns. Okay, of the Egyptian pharaohs. Okay, all right. So you have similarities between Egypt and America. Okay, all right. Even the celebration of Christmas, all right, has its origins partially in Egypt as well. Okay, all right. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." Okay, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to the wizards. Okay, so people are going to lose faith. Okay, in their counsel. Okay, and they're going to be trying to seek to different witchcraft and wizardry, which that's also increasing here in America. More people are turning into to enchantment and witchcraft. Okay, all right, and it's not going to lead them, to any answers, man. The only ones that are going to have the answers are the prophets of Yahweh Shemal Shai. When things really crack off in here, the Lord's going to remove us from off those highways and byways, man. All right, there's going to be a famine of the word. Okay, all right, but it's going to be great division here, great dissension, uproars of the people here in Babylon. That's also prophesied in Second Ezra 19th chapter. Okay, uproars of the people in the world. All right, now going to Second Ezra the 15th chapter, verse 14, it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." You're gonna start seeing mass violence, okay, worldwide, man. All right, what you see going on in Haiti, Latin America, Africa, okay, different, parts of Europe, kinda, okay, all right, it's gonna come here, okay, all right, you're gonna see it increase in these other poorer nations first, but it's gonna start ramping up here as well. Okay, for there shall be sedition amongst men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power, man. And you see, worldwide, people are more discontent with their government, with the powers that be. And you see that sentiment brewing more and more here in Babylon the Great. People want to rise up against their government. Okay, that's what people are in the spirit of. Okay, all right, because they're just tired of it. They're tired of the things not changing, things always getting worse, being promised a brighter day and it's not coming. Okay, more calamity after calamity, disaster after disaster. Okay, it says a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, which eventually is going to come to a point of cities being locked down, whether by military force or just the fact that it's too dangerous or inhospitable to live there. Okay, you cannot live there because it's just so violent, so dangerous. Okay, lack of food, lack of bread. All right, lack of energy, lack of travel. Okay, it says, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So these are the things that are coming to the world. Okay, Babylon the Great included. All right, this is the power of the universe. The God of the universe has decreed upon Babylon and the world. Okay, all right, and it's you read the headlines and it's lining up perfectly. Okay, it's lining up. All right, and last but not least, okay, all right, you knew this was coming out. Al Jazeera, okay, .com. It says Elon Musk's um, Neuralink brain implant firm cleared for human trials. Okay, all right, so Neuralink, their brain implant, has been cleared by the FDA to study implant allowing interface between human brains and computers. All right, which means that they're gonna start doing human, implants and tests, man. Okay, United States regulators have given approval for Elon Musk's startup company Neuralink to test its brain implants on people. Okay, I believe at first they were doing it on monkeys, and a lot of those monkeys just died. All right, they went crazy, and I want to say they killed themselves or starved themselves. Okay, all right, and this is Esau working his miracles, his devices, his witchcraft, and we already know what it's leading to. Okay, which that's going to be the closing precept. Okay, Neuralink said on Thursday that it received clearance from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration for the first human clinical study of implants, which are intended to let the brain interface directly with computers, man. Okay, we are excited to share that we have received the FDA's approval to launch our first in-human client clinical study. Okay, all right. It says Neuralink prototypes, which are the size of a coin, have so far been implanted in the skulls of monkeys. Demonstrations by the startup showed, so they started on monkeys. Okay. It says, with the help of a surgical robot, a piece of the skull is replaced with a Neuralink disc, and its wispy wires are strategically inserted into the brain, and early demonstration showed. All right, so hey, hey, it's about to go down, man. All right, they about to really get this popping. Okay, all right, hey, that you already know, you already know it's gonna lead to the you know what, man. All right, the C hip. All right, part of the article says what is as miraculous as it sounds. Okay, all right, well, what do the scriptures talk about, man? This is Second Thessalonians chapter 2. All right, it says in verse 8, it says, and then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan, with all power and signs and lying wonders. Wonders, man. All right, this is one of the wonders, the miracles of Esau on the left hand side. All right, the same way a, the Egyptian priest, okay, and wizards, they had their miracles they were performing. Okay, well, Esau being the modern day Egyptian, and his sorcerers, his scientists, his engineers, his doctors, these big names out here, they're sorcerers on the left hand side now as well. Okay, performing miracles, man. And through this technology, it's been purported people are able to walk again who are not able to walk, and see again who are not able to see, and hear again who are not able to hear. Okay, and have the use of their limbs and their faculties where as before they did not. That's miraculous. Okay, going into that all power, signs, and lying wonders. Scriptures talk about the miracles of the beast in Revelation the 13th chapter. Okay, all right. So it's happening before our eyes, man. These things are getting ready. Not even getting. We need to get out the. I need to stop saying that. We need to stop saying that. These things are happening, and they're happening fast, man. Okay. All right. Strong's G for the word wonders. It says Teras, Strong's G 5059, Teras. And it says a prodigy, a portent, um, miracle performed by anyone. Okay. All right. So this is one of Esau's little miracles, his little signs, you know, enticing people. Okay. All right. It says, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth that they might be saved. Okay, so a lot of people gonna fall for this, man. Okay, especially with these different diseases coming out here. It's gonna be violent out here. You know, this money system getting ready to be replaced. All right, so you already know this. This is just another avenue, another Trojan horse that Esau is going to use to set up, okay, to bring the MOTB. All right, which I'm going to close out with this. Revelation 13 and 16, it says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, all right, it says in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay, so this basically is dealing with a device. Okay, all right, those implantable devices. All right, those C hips. Okay, all right, in the hand or in the forehead, they're gonna actually modify your body. Okay, that no man may buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay, which again, this technology is leading up to that. Okay, it's leading up to the mark, the MOTB. Okay, the C hip. All right, which is going to be a form of basically making you into the currency. The current You're going to be the currency. All right, you're going to be the barcode, the QR code. Okay, and you're going to be marked. Okay, all right, and the beast will have their name on you. All right, that'll be the signature. Okay, that technology being implanted into your head or into your hand. Okay, that'll be his signature, his name being put upon you. Okay, you're gonna be the barcode, the number. All right, to allow you to interact in the system and make purchases and transactions. Okay, and for those who take that, the scriptures talk about being plagued with noisome and grievous sores in Revelation the 16th chapter. And in Revelation the 14th chapter, they shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture. Okay, spirit like the wind. Okay, our Revelation 14 and verse 9, it says, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture, into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of his holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Okay? All right, it says, here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of God and the faith of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, man. So the elect are not going to take this. All right, matter of fact, they will be willing to die as to not to take it. Okay? All right, instead of taking it, which scriptures go into that. But though for those who consent, you going to burn in the lake of fire when the missiles get fired off. All right? And Yahweh Shai comes with his chariots with flames of fire, burning people up. You going to burn up with them. Okay? So, hey, with that, Lord willing, this video is edifying. Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachakodash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone and citations to the elect, Kwame Asherala, and the Bible Ball. Shalom.